PBS NewsHour Politico Democratic debate continues live from Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles. Once again, Judy Woodruff.
Welcome back to the PBS NewsHour Democratic debate with Politico. And now it's time for closing statements. We each have 60 seconds, beginning with Mr. Steyer.
I'm different from everybody else on this stage, and here's why. I'm running because corporations have bought our government, and we need to return power to the people. And for the last 10 years, that's exactly what I've been doing, taking on unchecked corporate power. That's why I'm for term limits, because if we're going to have bold change, then we need new people in charge and new ideas. I'm the only person on this stage who's built a large, multi-billion-dollar international business. I know how to grow prosperity. I can take on Mr. Trump on the economy and beat him. I'm the only one on this stage who said climate is my #1 priority. It's a crisis we have to deal with, but it's also our greatest opportunity to create millions of good-paying union jobs across the country and clean up the air and water in the Black and brown communities where it's so essential. So if you want to break the corporate stranglehold, beat Mr. Trump on the economy, and solve our climate crisis, I can deliver. And
Mr.
I'm
Yang.
asking for your vote.
Sorry, my apology for interrupting. Mr. Yang.
I know what you're thinking, America. How am I still on this stage with them? Our campaign is growing all the time because we are laser focused on solving the real problems that got Donald Trump elected in the first place. I spent 7 years helping create thousands of jobs in Detroit, Baltimore, New Orleans, and other cities, serving as an ambassador of entrepreneurship under President Obama. And I saw firsthand what many of you already know. Our country is falling apart. Our senior citizens are working until the day they die. Our kids are addicted to smartphones or drugs. We're seeing record high levels of depression, suicides, overdoses. Our companies are recording record profits while our people are literally dying younger. Our way of life is changing faster than ever, and the simple fact is this: our politicians in DC succeed whether we, the people, succeed or fail. Washington, D.C. today is the richest city in our country. What do they produce? Bad decisions? We need to get the money out of D.C. and into your hands, the hands of the American people. Join us at yang2020.com and help us rewrite the rules of the 20th century economy to work for us.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Klobuchar.
We have had quite a debate tonight, but I want to debate Donald Trump. This primary comes down to some simple questions. Who has the best ideas, the best experience? Mostly, who can beat Donald Trump, and how will she do it? So, Donald Trump built his fortune on, over time, over $413 million that he got from his dad. My grandpa, he was an iron ore miner, a union member, who worked 1,500 feet underground, and he saved money in a coffee can in the basement to send my dad to a community college. That's my family trust. And I figure if you are given opportunity, you don't go into the world with a sense of entitlement, you go into it with a sense of obligation. An obligation to lift people up instead of hoarding what you have for yourself. Our politics right now, because of Donald Trump, are toxic. We need a leader who can bring people together and who can win that way. So if you are tired of the extremes in our politics and the noise and the nonsense, you have a home with me. If you want a bigger tent and a wider coalition and longer coattails, join me. We will win at amyklobuchar.com.
Thank you. Mayor Buttigieg.
So the nominee is going to have to do two things: defeat Donald Trump and unite the country as president. It's a tall order. And in order to do it, we're going to need a nominee and a president who can respond to the crisis of belonging that is gripping our nation today. That means building up a politics that is defined not by who we exclude, not by who we reject, but by how many people we can call to this side. I have seen so many people capable of forming that multiracial, multi-generational coalition. And I'm seeing more and more people who maybe have not felt welcome in the Democratic Party before, but belong here now, because they're definitely not on board with what's going on in the Trump White House. I am asking you to join me, to vote for me, to caucus for me, and to help us build that future defined not by exclusion, but by belonging.
Senator Warren.
Did you call my name? This is a dark moment in America, and yet I come here tonight with a heart filled with hope. All three of my brothers served in the military. They're all retired. They're all back in Oklahoma. One is a Democrat, two are Republicans. But you know what unites my three brothers? Amazon. They are furious that Amazon reported $10 billion in profits and paid zero in taxes. My brothers are part of why America is ready to root out corruption and fight back, and that gives us a base to work from. America is ready for a 2-cent wealth tax. It's supported by Republicans, Democrats, and independents, and it lets us invest in all of our children. America is ready to expand Social Security payments and disability payments by $200 a month, and we can do it. You know, someone asked what this would mean. You just give somebody $200 a month. They asked me this in a town hall, and a lady who wanted it said, you know what it'll mean to me? It'll mean I can get a prescription filled, and I can still buy toilet paper the same week. That's where Americans are right now. I am not working for millionaires and billionaires. I'm here to work for the tens of millions of people across this country who are ready to build an America that won't just work for those at the top, but that will work for everyone.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Sanders.
45 years, Americans have been listening to great speeches. And at the end of the day, the average American worker is not making a nickel more than he or she did in real wages over those 45 years. The truth is that real change always takes place. Real change always takes place from the bottom on up, never from the top on down. And that is why in this campaign, I am so proud that we have over 1 million volunteers. We have some of the strongest grassroots organizations. We have raised more individual contributions than any candidate in American history. Please join the political revolution at BernieSanders.com. Let's defeat Trump. Let's transform this country. Thank you.
And finally, Vice President Biden.
I want to thank everyone for listening 7 days out for Christmas. Thank you very much. But look, we all have big progressive plans, and the question is, who can deliver on those plans? And it seems to me we have to ask ourselves 3 questions straight up and honestly. Who has the best chance, the most likely chance of defeating Donald Trump? Who is the one who's most likely to do that? Number 2, who can help elect Democrats to the United States Senate in states like North Carolina and Georgia and Arizona and other states? And thirdly, who can deliver legislatively? That requires you to look at our records. I have a significant record of getting significant things done, from the Violence Against Women Act to the Chemical Weapons Treaty and foreign and domestic policy alike. And so I think asking those questions, I believe, as you'd expect, that I'm the most qualified to answer those 3 questions. But most of all, we got to level with the American people. Don't play games with them. Tell them the truth and be authentic. God bless you all, and may you all have a great, great holiday season. And thank you guys for doing this as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And that concludes the PBS NewsHour Politico debate. I do want to thank my colleagues here at the moderator table, Tim Alberta of Politico, Amna Nawaz, and Yamiche Alcindor of the PBS NewsHour. Thank you all for joining us. Please stick around and watch PBS for some analysis. Thank you to the candidates.
Welcome to the PBS NewsHour Politico debate post show. It is just after 7:30